I've been looking to buy a new camera for a long time now. My main camera has been the Canon T3i, which came out in, I think, 2011. So it's been a while. And by today's standards, it doesn't quite cut it, especially on the video front. I think it maxes out at 1080 at 30 frames a second, which is not a lot to work with in this era of 4K video. So I've been planning for a while to get something a little more modern, a little more flexible, and that can perform a little better to today's standards. I did a ton of research, probably way more research than was necessary, which is sometimes fun to do. I watched lots of videos, looked at all the example photos, read all the reviews, and really tried to find the perfect camera for exactly what I was looking for, which was basically a good hybrid shooter. I was going to do a lot of video, I was going to do a lot of photography, and I wanted it to perform really well, but not be super expensive. I didn't have a massive budget for this. In fact, I didn't have much of a budget at all. So I was saving up for it and wanted to find something that would perform really well when I did make that investment. The camera I landed on as the choice I wanted to go with is the Sony A7iii, which is a fantastic camera by all accounts. I see tons of people that I follow online using that exact camera, and it seems like a great balance for all the things that I'm looking for. It'll do great at videos, it'll do great at photos. It's not the world's best at any of those things, but for the price, it performs remarkably well and can be used very easily in a variety of professional contexts. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a cheap camera, but it's reasonable enough that if you really want it, you can save up for it and buy it without having to get another mortgage on your house or empty your retirement account or anything like that. Now, it turns out that my employer also needed to buy a camera because we're going to be doing lots of video and photos for work. And of course, having done all this research, I recommended the Sony A7iii as being probably the right fit for that. And it actually works out super nicely because the company has generously offered to let me use the camera in off hours, and that way I can get some practice with it and find out how to use it. I was saving up to buy the exact same camera anyway, so I'm not about to turn that down. And we actually finally just received the camera, so I wanted to do a quick unboxing before I jump into starting using it. So let's take a look and see what's in the box. So this is the box that it comes in, and I have to tell you, I have never been more excited to get a box in the mail. I have been dying to get my hands on this thing. So this is fantastic. I am super excited right now. I feel like it's Christmas time all over again. All right, let's see what we've got in here. Lots of unfolding to be done. I'm still unfolding things. So we've got what appears to be a camera strap. I'll pull that out in a minute. And here is the body itself. I got the body only version. I have a separate lens that will be showing up shortly. Let's open this up. This thing is just a beauty. It definitely feels different than the Canon I'm used to. This has much more squarish edges, but I kind of like the quirky ergonomics of it. I like that it's a little bit rough. The rattling sound had me worried for a second, but that's just the strap attachment at the end. The form factor is very similar to what I'm used to. The screen, I think, is almost exactly the same size as on my old T3i. It's definitely going to take me a little while to get used to buttons not being where I would expect them to be from having a lot of Canon experience. But I'm excited to actually try out a new platform and kind of shake things up a little bit and see what that does. The fold-out screen is definitely interesting. So on my Canon T3i, it actually swings all the way out, which would be super useful for vlogging and that kind of work. Here it doesn't do that, which is a shame, but I'll use some contraption with mirrors or something and figure out how to make that work. So it kind of folds out. It's great if you're looking downward at it. You can see the screen that way. You can kind of extend it out. I'm not really sure the purpose of that, but I'll play around with that a bit. I'm sure there's some good reason why they did that. I'm also excited because this will be my first full frame camera. The Canon T3i uses a crop sensor, so that's what I'm used to. And it'll be great to squeeze a little bit more out of the frame size with this full frame sensor. All right, let's get back into the box and see what else we can find in here. Lots of crazy shaped cardboard. So we've got a battery pack and a micro USB cable with the outlet plug. Let's take a look at the camera strap. It looks like a camera strap. That little A7 logo on it. I've never really used a camera strap much, but I probably should try. I know it's good for stabilizing the camera when you're taking shots that might otherwise wind up a little blurry. I don't know how much of an issue that's going to be. I'm used to the T3i not performing super great in low light. So there's probably a habit I should have already gotten into. But with the Sony A7 III, it's probably performs significantly better in low light. So I may not even need this. So it remains to be seen whether I wind up being a strap user or not. And so that is what's in the box. We've got the body, a battery, a USB cable, micro USB, and the camera strap. There doesn't need to be a whole lot more. I wasn't expecting a whole lot more in there. I have to say, I am super excited to go give this thing a try and actually find out how it works. So I'll be updating soon with some first impressions, with video samples, with tests. I'm going to try low light tests. I'll try all kinds of things with it. So if you want to follow along and see how the A7 III performs, stay tuned. I've got more videos coming soon.